Greeting and welcome student in our today's online section of subject Mechatronics. Today we are going to discuss about the actuators. So here started. Okay. So what is actuator? So actuator, you can see actuator actuates something. Means here we are going to convert one form of energy to actuate something. Means here we are going to use the either electrical energy, mechanical energy, or fluid energy, and we are getting here a linear or rotary motion. That's why we called them as a actuator. They, by using the energy, they actuate something. Okay. Here you can say an actuator actuates or moves something. An actuator uses some type of energy to provide a motion or to apply a force. Okay. I will again show you the another definition in next slide, but here just focus the what is the actuator. Actuator is device which actuates something or which produces the motion or force either in the form of torque by using the any other type of source of energy, which is either pneumatic one, hydraulic one, or electrical one. Here are some types of actuator. First one is the manual or mechanical actuator. Then next type is hydraulic or pneumatic actuators, then thermal actuator and electric actuators. So what is this manual or mechanical actuator? These are actuators where the manual force or force created either by mechanically is used to get the motion. They are manual actuators. The hydraulics and pneumatic actuators, these are the actuators where the hydraulic energy or pneumatic energy is used to produce the motion. Then thermal, where the heat is used, and in electrical, where the electrical energy is used to actuate something, is named as electric actuator. So here we are. How this thermal actuators work? So thermal actuators are, they convert the thermal energy into motion. So you guys knows there are some bimetallic strips. They can be work as a thermal actuators. You know, by heating the metal it get expand, and by cooling the metal it get contract. So using this phenomenon we can use this expansion and contraction as a motion. We can actuate something and we name this actuator as a thermal actuator. You all are familiar with this bimetallic actuator. Here how this bimetallic actuator works. So here is electric wire which is used to create the heat inside this bimetallic strip, and when this bimetallic strip is get heated, it gets expand, and during this expansion there is the curve type is occurs there, or there curve is occurs there. That's why they moves in the upward direction. So you can say that bimetallic strip is used to transfer used for the linear motion here, and we name it as a thermal actuator. So here is the electrical actuators. An electrical motor is a transducer and actuator because it converts an electrical current into a large magnetic field which then turns a shaft. Here what is happening, this electrical actuator means they are using this electrical energy and turning a shaft. So we can say that it is a rotary actuator because here a rotary motion is produced by using the electricity. So this is the perfect example of electric actuator, this electric motor or electric fan, where the electrical energy is going to convert to produce the rotary motion or to produce the torque here. That's why we called it as a electric actuator, because it actuates the fan. The mechanical actuator make anything that requires a mechanical input and causes motion. A screw jack is a perfect example of the mechanical actuator. Then summary of this actuator. An actuator is a device that converts energy into the motion. Actuators can be thermal, electrical, manual or hydraulic or pneumatic. Actuators are found in both the macro and micro scales. You know guys, this actuators depend on size. Sometimes if they are large, then we call it as a macro, and if they are very small, we call it as a micro scale actuators. Okay, now moving to the next slide. Here again we are going to revise this section. Here we discuss about the hydraulic and pneumatic actuator. Actuators are those components of a fluid power system which produces the mechanical work output. They develop force and displacement which requires to perform any specific task. The task may be of any kind: to move, to press, to lift or to clamp. All these are the activities that can be performed by the actuator. Actuators are common for both hydraulic and pneumatic system. Hydraulic actuators are made of stronger to withstand with high pressure of oil and develop a huge amount of force, whereas pneumatic actuators are made lighter using aluminum as compressed air pressure is about 5 bar. Then there are some characteristics of this actuator, such as speed of actuator depends on rate of working fluid. Rate of flow of working fluid can be controlled using the flow control valves. Then force developed by cylinder is the product of pressure and working fluid at the piston area. Listen student, you are very familiar with this actuators as you all studied it in the last semester of diploma course under subject industrial hydraulics and pneumatics there. Then force of actuator is controlled by controlling the pressure of working fluid using pressure control valve. Then direction of motion of actuator is controlled by controlling the direction of flow of fluid by using the direction control valves there. Then actuators are two types: linear actuators and rotary actuators. So linear actuators are the actuators which produces the linear motion, whereas rotary actuators are the actuators which produces the torque or rotary motion. Here are linear actuators are classified further into rotating cylinder, non-rotating cylinder. Then again this non-rotating cylinder again classified into two: single acting cylinder and double acting cylinder. You know that if this connecting rod is connected to the piston only in the if the return stroke of this piston is either by using the spring, or you can say there is only a single side entry of the fluid there, then it is a single acting cylinder. And in case of double acting cylinder, if the entry of fluid is on both sides of this piston, we called it as a double acting cylinder. Then again there are some special type of cylinder, diaphragm, special type of actuators on the basis of cylinder they are going to use. First one is diaphragm cylinder, then tandem cylinder, double rod end cylinder, then telescopic cylinder, then cylinder with the cushioning. The cylinder with the cushioning is just to increase the lifespan of the cylinder, as we are providing the cushioning there for the safety operation of this actuator. Then again this rotary actuators can again classified into this vane type, then piston type, continuous rotation actuators, then based on direction, unidirectional actuators, bidirectional actuators. Then based on the construction we classified them as a gear type, vane type, and piston type. Then linear actuator. The linear actuators are the actuators that produces the linear or reciprocating motions. They contain pistons inside the cylinder. When hydraulic oil is supplied to one end of cylinder, oil will extend the pressure on piston and reciprocating motion of piston occurs. The linear actuators are further classified into two: rotating cylinder, non-rotating cylinder, and special type of cylinders. Here you can see this is a linear actuator. When the pressure fluid is entered from the port A, it creates a pressure here on the backside of this piston, causes to move this piston in the outside direction, and we get the linear extension of this piston rod. And similarly, when the hydraulic fluid, pressurized hydraulic fluid is moves from this port B, then the pressure of the fluid is created inside this section, and fluid moves out from this port A, and that's why the piston moves in the backward direction, and we get the contraction linear motion of this piston rod, and we called it as a linear actuator there. Okay. If this cylinder is rotating here, we name is as the linear rotating cylinder actuator. Why we are called it as a linear rotating cylinder? Because the cylinder is rotating here. Just focus on this image here, second image here, where the cylinder is circle is shown there. So in that cylinder, this piston, these three pistons are moving linearly. That's why we called it as a linear actuator, because though the cylinder is rotating, but it produces the linear motion of these pistons here. Okay. So this kind of rotating cylinder linear actuators are used in the lathe machine. Just imagine that lathe machine, the jaw chuck, three jaw chuck, which are where the cylinder is rotating, but the jaws of this lathe moves in the linear direction. That's why we name it as a linear actuator having rotating cylinder. Okay. Okay, so here it is a linear actuator. This is the single acting cylinder with single piston rod. You can see here only a one side entry of oil is provided. That's why we name it as a single acting cylinder with single piston rod. Application of this actuator is this cylinder is having application in sequencing circuit or in clamping the workpiece. The symbol of this is like this. You all are studied this in brief under your subject IHP, which is Industrial Hydraulics and Pneumatics. Okay. Okay, this is non-rotating cylinder here. Here the cylinder is not rotating. That's why we name it as a non-rotating single acting cylinder, where the oil is having entry through only one end of this piston, and return or contraction stroke is obtained by using the spring here. Okay. These are the stroke. This is the contraction stroke, and second one, it is the expansion stroke of the actuator here. These are the actually this is not included in our syllabus, but still we are going to see. Here in case of the dumper, we are going to use this telescopic cylinder actuator, where a number of cylinders are mounted just one inside another, and when the extension stroke is started, the cylinder moves out from one after another and produces the linear motion there, causes to dumper move upside direction there. So dumper lifting is achieved by the telescopic cylinder actuator there, where a number of cylinders, you can see XYZ. This number of cylinders are mounted just in one after another, and when we pressurize oil is entering here, then the cylinders start extending one after the another, producing the linear motion there. Okay, so now we are going to see this rotary actuator. So what is this rotary actuator? A true rotary actuator produces the work by direction action of fluid pressure against internal winds, sometime internal vanes or sometime internal gears. Work is defined as the force applied over a distance. Rotary actuator produces a special type of rotation work called torque. The torque occurs when the force acts on a radius here. So how this rotary actuator, these are the actuator which produces the special type of rotary motion. We name it as a torque there. So here we are to understand this working of this rotary actuator. Just focus on your screen. This is the vane. Sometimes gears or piston is also used. This is the shaft where we need to produce the rotary motion. This is the shoe or stoppage. This is the entry and exit for the oil. These are the entry and exit.
The shoe, which partitions the chamber into compartments on either side of the vane. The chamber is formed by a body bore, closed at each end by a head, which supports the shaft assembly.
Here what is happening when this high pressurized oil is coming through this way, this focus on this arrow here, at that time this vane start rotating, producing the torque on the shaft here. So the clockwise torque is produces on this shaft. Similarly, when this high pressurized oil is coming in that coming through this another port, at that time this the high pressurized fluid start moving this vane in the anti-clockwise direction, producing a torque there on shaft.
The chamber compartment acts upon the vane to cause shaft rotation through an arc. The majority of rotary.
Similarly, we can produce a torque here. That's why we call this as a rotary actuator. Okay. So here we can see this single ended cylinder, which is linear single acting cylinder, linear actuator here. So it is cylinder, it is the entry for the fluid from pump, it is the piston rod, and this is the piston. So how this will achieve that? When this fluid from pump or pressurized fluid comes in that area, it starts moving the piston in the extension or outside direction, pushing the piston rod in the outside direction and produces the linear motion there. Similarly, when this oil is removed from this port, this piston moves in the backward direction because of the spring action, and we get the retraction or linear motion there. That's why we name it as a single acting actuator, linear actuator.
Utilizes a spring on the non-fluid side. A single acting cylinder produces linear motion in one direction. When a control valve directs fluid through the inlet port into the blind end, pressure builds up and generates a force on the piston.
You can see here the pressure is created on this direction, on the side of this piston, and it moving the piston in the outward direction, and we get extension there.
Forward stroke. When a control valve directs fluid out of the port,
And when this fluid moves in out of this port, at that time the spring again extended, and we get the retraction stroke, moving the piston rod in the inside direction of the actuator here. Similarly, we get this linear motion of this actuator by this way. Okay, thank you for today's section. Rest we will see about the sensor in the next section.